Welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic. Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Modern, and this is a bit of a brew from Patreon subscriber Eli. This is Para-Saga. The name, of course, comes from the enormous number of Sagas in the deck, and their combo with Hex Parasite. This is a thing that people were pretty hyped about when Urza's Saga was first previewed, because Hex Parasite is a 1-mana artifact that you can remove X counters from target permanent, and this creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn for each counter removed. If you have a Hex Parasite, whether you just draw one naturally or tutor it out with an earlier Urza's Saga, you can then move up and down the chapters of Urza's Saga. Every turn, you can go to chapter 3 in response to the trigger to search for an artifact. You can use Hex Parasite to remove 1 or 2 counters from the Urza's Saga, and then it won't die. And then it also triggers again next turn. You can tutor for a 1-drop every turn. You can set it all the way back to 1, and then it'll just make constructs forever. This is the thing people are pretty hyped about. I played some decks with this on my channel when Modern Horizons 2, is that what this was? Yeah, Modern Horizons 2 first came out, and it turned out that was more cute than good, but it still exists. And what if we weren't just tutoring for Hex Parasite out of an otherwise normal Urza's Saga deck? What if we were a completely abnormal deck featuring 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15 Sagas? What do we think of that? I just told you the interaction, so you know how that works. How about each opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker every turn, and if they don't have one, they discard a card every turn? How about destroy target non-land permanent an opponent controls every turn, and if they don't have one, we search our library for a forest and put it onto the battlefield every turn. Put a +1 counter on up to 1 target creature, becomes an artifact. Chapter 2, destroy all non-artifact creatures. Wrath of God every turn, or Plague Wind, as the case may be, because all our creatures are going to be artifacts. Hex Parasite sometimes costs life, Thoughtseize costs life, kind of a life thing. Gain 3 life every turn, or you may play an additional land. Destroy target creature with mana value 2 or less, or create a food. Or create a wicked roll. You see how this works. Power Conduit is another way to do it. Remove a counter from a permanent you control, choose one to put a charge counter on target artifact, or put a +1 counter on target creature. Power Conduit is a little stickier because it's not a creature. Like Hex Parasite just gets swept up in a Fury, gets hit with a lightning bolt or whatever. Power Conduit, harder to kill, sticks around, though you do need an artifact or a creature to move your Saga counters onto. You can't just tap this to remove something and not have a target to move things elsewhere. But I think this card is pretty good as well. We got 7 ways to remove counters. We got 15 Sagas, and then supporting it all is just kind of the other cards in the Urza's Saga package and some modern level disruption and cards. The only super weird card in this deck outside of the core engine is Glissa Sunslayer. Also, Card Hoarder gave me this insane version, which is completely unreadable at card size. My bad. First Strike, Death Touch, 3/3 for 3. When it deals damage to an opponent, you can draw a card, lose 1 life, destroy target enchantment, or remove 3 counters from target permanent. This can, of course, completely reset a Saga if it connects. Also, just card advantage. Also, just a body that's really hard to attack through, because First Strike and Death Touch have one of the most insane multipliers when they're both on the same card of any 2 keywords. And I went in on Assassin's Trophy as my removal spell of choice. Eli sent me most of this deck. I did some tuning that I think will improve it. There was like more Witch's Vanities, but a lot of the cards you need to kill in Modern right now cost 4, 5, and 7, where Witch's Vanity doesn't really keep up. I went in on Assassin's Trophy, 3 in the main and number 4 in the board, because this just kills anything. Scamped Fury, you're out of here. Urza's Tower, you're out of here. Amulet Titan, Primeval Titan, you're out of here. I just like the no questions asked answer or nature of this as an instant while I'm trying to durdle around with my other stuff. It just felt like I don't want to lose a game because I have Fatal Push instead of something that just kills everything. There's still Fatal Pushes in the deck because Modern's a fast format, but Assassin's Trophy I went heavier on. Karn's Bastion, I'm a little suspicious of. This tech came from Eli. I wonder if we just want another forest or another fetch land in here, but I'm going to let it ride and hope that it comes up big at some point in the league. And that's what we're doing. This is Para-Saga. Let's lock people out of the game. I'm on the play in round 1, and my hand is kind of boring in that it's just a Thoughtseize into Bowmasters. Welcome to Modern. Here we go. Kind of start. But I do have a Parasite and one of the spiciest Sagas. I'm going to keep it. And let's see what this opponent's working with. I think I just want to play Darkboar Pathway on the black side. And Thoughtseize my opponent with that. Okay, we've got Murktide. If I take the Ledger Shredder, they just aren't really doing anything. Yeah, I'll start there. Blooded Strand. The Phyrexian Scriptures. I feel like that will be a hard lock eventually. If it ever resolves, destroying all their creatures is pretty sick. And Chapter 1 is up to, put a +1 counter on up to 1 target creature. I don't have to target theirs if I just don't have one. And I think what I'm going to do here is play Overgrown Tomb tapped and play Hex Parasite. Because I see the Lightning Bolt, I see the Unholy Heat, I see the Counterspell. I want to get something in under Counterspell. I want to start challenging their answers to Orcish Bowmaster. And I'm just not going to cast a spell into their Counterspell next turn. And then when they EI, I can Bowmaster in response on the following turn. That's my plan anyway. We'll see if they draw the 2-drop threat that messes up my whole option here. Okay, cool. There's another Hex Parasite. Do I want to play this? And if they counterspell this, whatever. If they lightning bolt this, also whatever. I'm just going to keep trying to stick those. Okay, yeah, there's the lightning bolt. And do I go in on Bowmaster now? I think I do. One of the cards in my deck does tutor forest, so I want to think about my forest count at least a little bit. Are there any double green spells in this deck? There's not, and I already have 1 green. I can just get a swamp here, and that's fine. Yeah, just a swamp. Master. Okay, did they draw another lightning bolt since I saw their hand last? I'm just putting this in now where they can't counterspell it, and if they EI, they got to make decisions about if they're going to cast a cantrip. Oh, unfortunately, they found a creature. I'm going to attack with my Orc army first. Right now, this is just a little trade. Glissa shoves right into this counterspell. I don't know if I'll be able to play around that in the future. I can just try to get it out of their hand, or I can just kind of make them play off mana if they just run a turn cycle without spending 2 mana. Okay, they Scalding Target before EI. That's interesting. Now EI can't just make a land drop and keep moving stuff forward, but it does hold up counterspell throughout. They valued that over. Because now they have to hit a bauble if they're going to get 2 cards off of EI and still hold up counterspell. Hey, they exiled a lightning bolt. And yeah, they just didn't cast it. That's what I was talking about. Attack with my 2 creatures. And I think I have to play Glissa here. Missing the land drop hurt, but any of these 4s just completely stabilize me. So let's duress the counterspell here with Glissa's help. They milled Mishra's Bauble. I am not winning the race right now, but oh heck yeah, preordain me, daddy. That might swing the race. If I find land number 4 and I can kill a creature this turn, I'm going to feel really good about this whole situation. They top bottom the preordain. Okay, here comes Murktide. Alright, deck, it's time for that untapped land. Let's bind the old gods, targeting Murktide. Okay, land, 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 land. Oh yeah. Okay, I already determined I don't need double green, but I already have triple black. Yeah, I don't need quad black either. I will play the green side, and hope they didn't draw Spell Pierce. Ka-chow! How'd we do? No! No! Alright, I'm dead. Yeah, that was the one card they could have, but they did see a lot of cards this game, so no surprise. I am at 1 on the board, and dead. Okay. GG. Came down to a Spell Pierce. I like basically all removal spells for this matchup. I like bothering their graveyard. I don't think I need Chalice of the Void. I like my 1-drops more than I like turning off theirs. Yeah, that's 7 cards. I don't think I need Haywire Might for the matchup. I have basics, even if they do bring in Blood Moon, which is not necessarily likely to occur. Thoughtseize is an interesting one as well. Maybe I don't need both Eldest Reborn, that is a 5-drop in a matchup that features Spell Pierce. So Thoughtseize can try to punch a hole, then I resolve my thing, versus just having more things in the deck, and I don't care which of them specifically resolves. Pithing Needle, I think, has no targets in this deck except for fetch lands. Nile Spellbomb's fine, they do use their graveyard a bit. Okay, going in like this. Indotha Triome, land. This is a Voidwalker. This is, yeah, okay. I have a bunch of removal and a bunch of stuff to do on 2 mana. Triome, pass. Here's this 1 5-drop. I left 1 in, and it's in my opening hand again. I kind of hope I just draw 4 lands for the rest of this game. Oh, wow, that's just fucking dead. All right, well, there's a land. I'm not going to complain. I'm going to fetch Basic Swamp, make sure Blood Moon doesn't come for me. This Ragavan completely stuffed right now before they can have Stern Scolding or anything up. Steam Vent, zap that in, and they passed. I'm going to attack first. And they shocked in that card, which makes me think they have something to cast. All right, heating my Bowmaster is what they had. Okay. Yeah, I'm not trying to just shove cards into easy counter spells. I want to make them play off balance at least a little bit. Now they've tapped out for EI. At best, they can Spell Pierce on their turn. Mishra's Bauble exiled, and they don't appear to have the land. Let's go. Okay, this is a clear opportunity to get Glissa into play, but I think Voidwalker's better. Okay, they need to respond with Bauble if they want Bauble in the graveyard. Yep, they know how this works. They do have exactly Delirium. They have 4 cards and they're 4 different types. This Karn's Bastion's actually kind of a beating here because I'm not holding up Trophy right now. Any other land in my deck than Saga would be holding up Trophy. Lightning Bolt goes to exile, but it does answer my thing. Preordain. They know I don't have Bowmaster at this point. It would have been played already. Topped. They must have found 2 lands. Bauble. And bobbling me right now while they know I don't have Bowmaster. Because they've already cantripped twice this turn cycle. And another Preordain. Around and around we go. Top bottom that one. They drew for Bauble. Binding the Old Gods. That's cool. That's a removal spell. It currently doesn't kill anything. But I am currently locked and loaded to resolve a 4-drop. Next turn, I could search my library. Oh, the forest comes in tapped. That means it doesn't curve into Eldest Reborn. Yeah, I'm going to get the Glissa in now. They have a bunch of removal in the deck that can deal with her, but I need them to put a threat into play and tap too low to counter my counterplay. Shredder, okay. Unholy Heat, disappointing. The best thing that can happen here is they tap out for a DRC or something, but they won't give me that. Oh, sick. You held up Spell Pierce, did you? Get out. And attack with my Orc. I would love to start a fight over a Murktide. Like, if they play a Murktide, I trophy it in the end step, they counter it, and then I untap and bind it, which is what I really want to be doing. So it's probably better to just play around Spell Pierce. Like, turning on Spell Pierce when I don't have to kind of sucks. Okay, forget it. I'll just go to my turn. Another Binding of the Old Gods. So now if they have actual counterspell, my creature, or they get to keep the Murktide. All right, I will make them act on their turn at least. A trophy. They have enough basics that I don't need to wait till their draw step for this. There's no world where this trophy doesn't find them a basic. Spell Snare. All right, that was going to get me regardless. Yeah, Karn's Bastion actually really seriously hampering my ability to play the game right now. Hex Parasite. I mean, this one can at least double spell, I guess. I am going to trophy now, though, because I can play around Spell Pierce and play a Sorcery Speed spell. If I wait till their turn again, okay, that's gone. I like that. Hex Parasite, get in. I could take the +1 counter off my Orc army if I wanted to do that. If there were a situation where, like, an Orc army attacked, that might actually be interesting. And, like, They cast Preordain, but I need a blocker. I mean, I'm not letting Rag hit me. Hex Parasite's not that important to me. Alright, cast a creature. Let me bind it. EI, alright. Tap out for Murktide or Ledger Shredder. We're so close to doing the thing here. That Flooded Strand represents Spell Pierce. That's a bummer. Nile Spellbomb. I like that. I'm just going to put that card into play. And I'm going to bomb them right now. That drew a card, hit a land drop. Shut down any Murktide business. Land number 5 makes it possible to play Eldest Reborn, and I'm 1 land draw now away from binding the Old Gods ahead of Spell Pierce. Uh-oh. Well, this one's going to connect. I guess that maybe I'm not supposed to attack with Orc Army, but no, that's not true. I just dealt with a Ragavan. Oh no, they hit in Azusa's Many Journeys. This is a 3/3 on the back end. Oh, the first 2 modes barely matter, but that one's good. But I can destroy it with binding. They bobbled me. They didn't cast the Journeys. Okay, not interested. All right, well, they saw this one. I might as well play it. I can destroy their treasure token that they decided not to cast Azusa's Journeys off of. This is a kind of a spot of tension because the opponent doesn't have anything to kill, so it might not be worth countering. Karn's Bastion can grow my Orc Army. I guess that's kind of interesting. DRC. Played around it. Dash Ragavan, do you have a removal spell also, or are we just sending Rag into the death zone? Committing to the attack first. Just God mode over there. Okay. Generally, I like to make sure my removal spells resolve before I commit to attacks, but it's good. It's all good. There's a Glissa that they can't cast. Okay. This dashed Ragavan is a bit of a bummer. I just drew one of the forests. I would not like to shock in my thing that dies anyway. Okay. We've been reading Spell Pierce for like most of the game here. I can shock in Overgrown Tomb, which takes a turn off the Ragavan clock, but does play around Spell Pierce. I can also just shove Eldest Reborn, which is the better card on this board, because it kills the DRC and threatens to put another thing in. Okay. I am going to play Eldest Reborn and hope that they don't have Spell Pierce. Alright, yeah, Counterspell gets anything, so that doesn't matter. And they milled an Unholy Heat. I'm going to play my land and pass. And I'm a little worried. If they get Delirium, I'm dead very quick. They just got Delirium, of course. They milled over an EI, judging that Delirium now is worth more than looking at 3 cards next turn. Probably correct. Okay, I need something that goes in front of Ragavan this turn. They flip Fatal Push. Great. Yeah, that's the card I wanted. They got 3 cards in hand. One of them's Ragavan. I drew Urza's Saga. Here's Urza's Saga. And I guess I have to bind the Old Gods here. And I can do this twice if they counter it. I destroyed DRC. And the other one I'm not going to play. I'm going to go to 2. I'm dead to Lightning Bolt here. Glad I didn't shock in that Overgrown Tomb. I would have died this turn. I might still die this turn, but you know what I mean. Rag puts me to 2. They flipped Assassin's Trophy. That card's pretty good. They can kill Urza's Saga, and then Rag is just teed up for next turn. Okay, Murktide. 1 card left. They didn't trophy. Do they know about their treasures? This is 2 times now this game where they just have not cast a card they could cast that would have been relevant. Binding the Old Gods, get another Overgrown Tomb. Do not pay 2 life. Saga ticks up. And Nurturing Peatland is a little dangerous, but I am going to play it, of course. Not going to not play my land. Green, colorless, black, colorless. All right. I need a green. I put a green in. All right. Green, black. Okay. Do you have Counterspell as your last unknown card? Sure. You sure are tapping mana. Okay. I can draw a card with Peatland here. Nope, not helpful. All right. Last card was Counterspell, or else we actually did have stability there. But yeah, GG. Dashing the Rag all those turns, playing around my handful of sorcery speed removal. Solid stuff. On to the next round. This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there. I'm on the play in round 2 with a hand that's actually kind of cool. I'm going to keep this. And obviously it has 6 lands in it, but 4 of them are kind of spells. And I have Azusa's Many Journeys that I can ramp out with. I think the only point of tension or interest here is, do I play Saga first? Because then it'll pop into Hex Parasite before Azusa's Many Journeys goes off, and then I can just play an extra land or gain 3 life every turn. I don't think I want to do that. But I do need to play Greenside Pathway if I'm going to play Saga next turn. I guess that's not even true, because Azusa's Many Journeys. Though if the Many Journeys gets countered, then I want to play Saga. Yeah, okay, cool. Looks like it's going to resolve. Whoa, baby. Do you see the combo? It's all here. Opponent, behold. All right, opponent's in check immediately. I love how I just think this is in check. Now they just play Ren and 6, go my Hex Parasite, and nothing is happening, but I'm having a good time. Yep, this is Ren and 6 mana. Maybe I'm just not even supposed to cast the Hex Parasite. Boo. All right. I might have gotten a little too hyped on that, but it was awesome. I'm not going to apologize. Oh, I can actually stack the tutor next turn to get Hex Parasite and take a counter off Azusa before she flips, but I think I just want her. Like, that's not even good. It's just a thing. If I play my other Saga now, 2 mana, make the construct, 2 mana, make the construct, this Saga comes in, ticks up, I can't make a construct. I think I want to wait a turn on that. And I'm going to play this Blast Zone. And Many Journeys is kind of a weird one with the Hex Parasite, because it doesn't have like a Chapter 3 ability that you can just spam. Because the Chapter 3 ability exiles it and flips it, and then it doesn't matter how many counters are on it. They just picked up their Misty, and I'm making constructs. And I'm still making constructs. I can search for Pithing Needle, turn off this Misty Rainforest. That's risky. Though they did leave it out there. And if they don't have another fetch, then Needling Misty is similar to Needling Ren. It's also possible it doesn't matter what I get because their hand is just full of removal, which is how these decks actually function. I think I am gonna get a Needle and name Ren. And then Azusa flips. This is not a battle, so I didn't cast that. They couldn't counter it on the way back down. Okay, please don't have Endurance in your deck. I'm going to attack Ren just in case, because these decks play Leyline Binding, they play Oseiju, they play Prismatic Ending. This is not Omnath mana, it's the One Ring mana. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good too. Wish I had a Pithing Needle for that. But okay, draw for turn. The Phyrexian Scriptures, what's up? Okay, that's a later thing. I think I want to play Nurturing Peatland here. And unfortunately, Likeness of the Seeker is not going to do her thing. If I got an attack here, I could make a construct and then untap 3 lands and make a construct. Cool stuff, but not happening right now. I suppose I'm just passing the turn. My opponent has protection from stuff. Hex Parasite can also take all the burden counters off the ring. But putting a burden counter is part of the resolution, not the cost, so they'll always get at least 1 card. Supreme Verdict. Disappointing. Okay, those are gone. End step. Make a construct. Do I want to draw a card? Not yet. My deck is full of expensive cards. All right, they're drawing cards now before I can tutor an answer to that. Oh, the Parasite. Just a little too late. A reconstruct. Opponent does not currently have protection from everything. They don't have protection from anything. Haywire Might, I believe, is the answer here. And then Shock and Overgrown Tomb. I'm about to get this mana or life back anyway. Hex Parasite makes construct bigger. Attack first. Solitude, okay. Exiling Elishnorn. Going after the construct, sure. And then I Haywire Might the Ring. They're fetching in response. I hate this. What's going on? All right, just getting a tap land. That's fine. Deal. Teferi. That card's pretty good against constructs. It's really bad against Hex Parasite, though. I'm just going to kill Teferi now rather than try to challenge it in combat. It's going to cost me 3 life, but that's fine. Get rid of it. Okay, I need a threat. Power Conduit. Not exactly the threat I'm looking for, but it's not bad either. I'm into it. I can play Boseiju here, and then Scriptures puts a +1 counter on Hex Parasite. That's extra damage where I come from. And then Power Conduit makes another +1 counter on this, if I choose. I'm going to attack first. Something's happening. Boseiju, my Scriptures, okay. Put a +1 counter on target creature, target Hex Parasite, take the counter off Scriptures. I'll at least get an extra +1 here. I think Indatha Triumph's better as a cycle at this point. I have so much mana and nothing going on. I'm just going to get an Overgrown Tomb. Okay, opponent has 4 cards in their hand, plenty of mana to do whatever they want. I'm a little worried. But we are doing some of the cool things that the deck can do. I'm happy we get to showcase something here. Even if we're about to get schmurdered by an Omnath, I'll take it. So I don't know if they would have fetched in their end step if they had Omnath here. Oh, sick. Oh, Bring to Light. Okay. We're dead in some other way. 4 colors. Is this just a ring? Oh, Valky. Okay, yeah, that works. That's a reasonable thing. Exile target artifact or creature. Yeah, Hex Parasite's a reasonable decision, and I have no mana up to take Valky's counters off. They have my Hex Parasite now. Okay, deck. Good card right now. Another Hex Parasite kills Tibalt. Nurturing Peatland. I'm going to draw a card with the Peatland that's already in play. Uh-oh. Peatland, draw a card with the Peatland that's already in, or that I just played. I'm leaving a Blast Zone because that can kill Hex Parasite. So does Fatal Push. Ugh. This has not gone in the place I want to be. I'm going to push the Hex Parasite before it actually does anything. Okay. We got to beat a Tibalt. Binding the Old Gods is pretty good. They exiled my Shadow Spear in their Flooded Strand with Tibalt. Now they have an Omnath. Okay. Very, very dead at this point. Actually, Binding is still fine. Like, if I get Binding and it sticks for a turn, Thoughtseize, not excited about that, but I am going to cast it. What are you doing over there? One Ring Solitude Time Warp. Okay. I'm done. Okay. The old Thoughtseize concede instantly. You love to see it. Okay, Fatal Push, not for this matchup, that's for sure. Maelstrom Pulse can kill planeswalkers and creatures. It does not kill the ring. Assassin's Trophy is interesting. I wonder how many basics are actually in this deck. Bathing Needle for the ring and for Ren and for Tibalt all seem fine. Witch's Vanity. I think they have 0 targets for destroy target creature with mana value 2 or less. Voidwalker can bash. Necromentia can take the One Rings out of their deck, or I don't know if that's an idea. Voidwalker is just more threats, but this deck is built to destroy threats. I think it's Necromentia, just for a lack of anything better to be doing here. Nile Spellbomb's not irrelevant, because they do have Ren in 6, and it's a cantrip I can tutor. The Voidwalker pressures Ren in 6 pressures their life total while bricking Ren in 6. Okay, I'm actually off Nile Spellbomb. I'm into Voidwalker. This adds more things to play. And I think I like where this is. I have another Voidwalker in there, but... Or maybe I don't need to hit extra land drops and draw extra, or gain life in this matchup. Alright. Here we go. Keep. Thoughtseize to check their hand. Voidwalker follows it up as a threat. And then I just need something with counters on it to start going in on Voidwalker. And Blast Zone comes in with a counter. That can be a +1, but I'd rather do a Saga. Opponent went to 6. Let's see them. Supreme Verdict, Prismatic Ending, Leyline Binding. Okay, just handful of removal. Understood. Leyline Binding I can beat later with Boseijus and Ask Trophies and stuff. Prismatic Ending is the cleanest removal spell here. Misty Rainforest. Indatha Triome. Not what I'm looking for here. Voidwalker, go in. Oh, they didn't fetch in response. Now that's not in their graveyard for Ren and 6. That was a small bleed there in a deck where it actually matters. And they fetched a Triome that doesn't make white, so they'll have to take 2 to Leyline Bind here. Sacred Foundry confirmed, and then they overpaid for Leyline Binding. Cool. Everything's going well over there for them. Okay, Boseiju, some Saga, like, lots of good draws here. I'll take that Saga. I'm not mad about it. I'm going to get my Indatha Triome in and invest in Power Conduit. Just have that in play. If they spend a removal spell on it, whatever. Eldest Reborn, actually, one of the more exciting sagas for this matchup. Though, if I find Binding of the Old Gods right now, they're in some trouble. Hex Parasite. Not really what I want. However, it's also not nothing. And if they're trying to 1-for-1 me, this Supreme Verdict in their hand, just going after Hex Parasite sucks pretty bad. And if they play Teferi here, I just kill it. I want you all to know I'm being really responsible by not calling Hex Parasite's activated ability sucking it off. You'd suck a counter off Teferi. I'm just not going to say that, but I want you all to know I'm thinking it. Okay, One Ring activates. There is no spot to take the counter off that meaningfully. A Glissa, not interested in overextending into the Supreme Verdict. I'm pretty interested in having the Eldest Reborn on board, though. They don't have a creature or planeswalker to sacrifice. That's fine. But this thing is ticking now. I just realized that Power Conduit is an artifact. I mean, obviously that's true. But it is an artifact for purposes of put a charge counter on target artifact. So you actually can just tap Power Conduit to take a counter off a Saga, functionally. And then the Power Conduit will be holding that charge counter later to put it on a creature. Okay, that's cool. Here's Teferi. Annoying. But they have to be careful what they bounce here. Went after Eldest Reborn, okay. Put a +1 counter on Hex Parasite in response. Now they can fetch. I'm going to lead on Eldest Reborn. Sometimes these decks have counterspells, sometimes they don't. But if they counterspell Eldest Reborn, then I attack Teferi. Okay, actual counterspell confirmed to be in this deck. I attack Teferi, and now we're just eating shit from the ring. I think my time to get something cool set up has come and gone. But their life total is dwindling. Here comes a giant Bring to Light, which will play some spell that I can't beat. Oh, Solitude, we're doing that instead. Okay. I could gain an extra life by putting the counter on Blast Zone. I'm gonna charge the Power Conduit by taking a +1 counter off Hex Parasite. This at least keeps the counter in the mix. I gain 1 fewer life, but at least I have something in the bank. Misfail Plains, yikes. My opponent's going long. Here's a Saga, not a bad card to have. I think I need to draw a card with Peatland here. Need something meaningful going. Okay, I'll take a Thoughtseize. They still have their ring activation up, so I can see their hand. Curse Totem, LOL. Sure. I'm gonna take Supreme Verdict, but Boseiju, not LOL. Boseiju, Jesus. Curse Totem's cool though. I haven't seen that card in a modern deck before. And then they draw a million cards, 3 cards in the end step, then they can draw 4 cards on their turn. If they find some way to gain some life, I'm in trouble. I need the ring to kill them, basically. Well, they found a way to gain some life, which is not hard when you have the One Ring. Okay, draw 4. I suspect there's a land in there somewhere. Just a basic forest, though, that doesn't do the big Omnath thing. Fucking A. They don't need to do the big Omnath thing, it turns out. Bouncing Glissa, and then Solitude gets to attack. This is kind of, like, this round and the last one are kind of the classic case of trying to do something interesting in Modern, because the decks are all just so good, so powerful. Every deck goes over the top of you in the end game, or it just obliterates you in the early game, and decks that don't have, like, preordained expressive iteration, Murktide, or don't have the One Ring, or don't, whatever. You know what I mean. This game is over, though. They're at a comfortable 14 life, 7 cards in hand. They can make it 12 next turn. They're gaining life every turn to offset the ring activation. Just all good. On to the next one. But there was a window. There was like a 2-turn window where drawing Binding of the Old Gods, killing Leyline Binding, and having a threat actually would have been pretty sick. And it just didn't come together because we're not a deck with a lot of selection. For the absolute best Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, check out the link in the video description to coalesceapparel.shop and be sure to use the code BoshNRoll for 10% off when you check out. I'm on the draw in round 3, punished by the colorless lands in the mana base here. Probably don't keep a 1-lander anyway, but mulligan this. Okay, I'm in. I'm going to keep and bottom one of the Parasites. Binding is just such an essential card to this deck that even at 4 mana, I'm not in a hurry to send that. Oh, Hex Parasite's really fucking interesting against Hardened Scales. Okay. Yeah, Hex Parasite. What do you want to do? You want to put some counters on your Ozolith? Let's go. And if they just play like Ballista and ping my Parasite here, put their counter on the Ozolith, then that does stabilize the situation for them. Hangerback Walker. Guess what? That's dead. Welding Jar. That won't save it. Zeus's Many Journeys. Okay, so I can Overgrown Tomb, Many Journeys, and then take 1 counter off Hangerback Walker. Cool. I will pay the 2 life. I will Journey. I will play my Verdant Catacombs, get a basic Forest, and then pay 2 life and 1 mana. And I will remove 1 counter from Hangerback Walker. And then it makes 0 counters when it dies, because that's how 1/1 works. And then attack for 2. Yeah. Okay. I mean, we're not out of the woods yet, but that was a really funny way to start the game. Come on, land. Zeus's Many Journeys, Part 2. Yeah, I'm not in a hurry for that. I'm not going to attack into nothing here. Holding up Trophy or Bowmaster seems like a reasonable place to be. I will certainly not be sucking off their Urza Saga for them. Do they just needle Hex Parasite here? Moral victory. They got Zabaz, okay. Zabaz dies to Orcish Bowmasters cleanly. I like that. Hey, Bowmaster, come in, ping Zabaz. They can regenerate it, but either way, something is gone. Oh, I could have just killed Zabaz with Hex Parasite also, but this works. A block with my Orc Army token. And do I pay 2 life to take the counter off their Urza Saga? I think I do. Urza Saga, because this will deny them a turn of constructs, or at least delay a turn of constructs. I get to flip this homie into play, and what's up Death Touch First Strike versus opponent's 5/5 creatures? We can do this. Okay, their flying creature is gone. If they draw Agatha's Soul Cauldron, then they can give their construct flying, but their Saga knows how to tap for a colorless twice now. Automaton, a little late to the party, also completely bricked by Glissa. Arcbound Ravager, always a good card in this deck, but also pretty well bricked by Glissa. Is Glissa the secret sauce in Modern? Has that been true all along? Hashtag always has been. Okay, I found my land. What do I want to do with this? And I'm going to bind the Old Gods, obviously. But in what way? And connecting with Glissa is sick. And they could quadruple block it, lose their whole shit. And if she connects, I also take all the counters off Arcbound Ravager. But I think, binding the Old God, I can upkeep that. Yeah, I think I want to attack with Glissa. And then I can destroy the Ozolith. Okay, attack with Glissa. They could block with something and Welding Jar it. Regeneration removes the creature from combat, so Glissa won't die. But that is something they could do. We're very close to assembling the lock here. I can feel it in my bones. Remove up to 3 counters from target permanent. I'm gonna suck off the Arcbound Ravager. Alright, I'm just committed now. I'm doing it. Someday that'll stop being funny, but right now I'm having a good time. Okay, they just sacked Ravager in response. They get a modular trigger somewhere, and Ozolith also picks up the counters. I think they're going to have to Welding Jar the Ozolith. I guess you don't have to do anything, but am I more worried about Ozolith or just keeping the constructs in line? I'm actually going to go for a construct. Yeah, that's fine. They have a bunch of ground pounders right now. If they get trample or flying somehow, that becomes a problem. But for now, I'm chilling. Wow. Locked him out. Hex Parasite. Too damn good. Maelstrom Pulse, Assassin's Trophy, Pithing Needle, Fatal Push coming in. Eldest Reborn seems mega slow and clunky. Oh, wow. They don't even want to play. They're done. Cannot beat Hex Parasite. Scoop the whole match after game one. We did it. Let's go. The Command Tower software by Eminence Gaming is perfect for hosting TCG events. It features easy-to-create event registration for 1v1 and 4-player Swiss structure tournaments. Event management has never been so simple, and it's web-based, so there's no download required. Get access for just $5 at eminence.event/subscribe. On the draw in round 4, I'm going to keep my hand. It's got some lands and spells in it. A Watery Grave from the opponent, and Preordain. Cool. Bottomed their Preordain. I'm not just going to run Hex Parasite, or am I? So I was going to say I'm not going to run Hex Parasite into Easy Bowmasters, but if they Easy Bowmasters, I Easy Bowmaster them back, and then everyone's having an easy time. Yeah, I'll just put this creature into play. Preordain, okay. Was that bottom looking for your land? They topped. All right. Well, they found what they were looking for one way or another. Attack with my Parasite. Leave up the world's most obvious Bowmasters, but I'm still in for it. I don't think I want to tap out for Bowmaster here. I'm going to get Hex Parasite in again. Maybe I should have played Glissa, but I kind of like playing Draw Go against this deck that's probably built to do it. Oh, Fiery Islet. Are we Grixis Shadow? What's going on over here? Snapcaster Mage. Okay. They're going to target Preordain. I'm going to Bowmaster in response to them casting Preordain. If they have a Spell Snare or a Stern Scolding, they can counter this. If they have a Fatal Push, they can remove it before the second draw at least. They appear to have none of the above, though. Top, bottom, ping ya. That was a nice little interaction. Patience on the Bowmaster rewarded. Death Shadow. Okay. Here's that creature. And you know what that creature doesn't do? Beat Power Conduit. Or, even better, I'm going to bind these old gods. What's an older god than death? Get out of here. And I think they're in the hard lock. Grixis is not known for... Or it's not a hard lock. They could kill Hex Parasite. Grixis is not known for its enchantment removal, though. And if they just keep running out creatures, I can suck off the Binding of the Old Gods in my upkeep. Oh, they don't even see it. Here we go. Okay, in my upkeep, target Binding of the Old Gods. And Hex is currently 1. Done. Wowee. Let's go. We're halfway through the league, but it's finally kicking into action. The problem is I was trying to resist the funny joke early, and I just need to embrace what this deck's doing, and it's sucking off permanents with counters on them. Grixis, and eventually they're going to put creatures into play. Just have to decide at what speed I want to interact with them, and do I care about Dothy Voidwalker? We've seen Snapcaster Mage. We've seen Murktide Regent. That might be enough reasons to play Voidwalker on its own. And then just 4 additional removal spells. I think Eldest Reborn's an easy cut here. Witch's Vanity actually does seem to kill many of their things. Haywire Might probably doesn't have any targets. Pithing Needle might not have any targets. I don't think I need to Thoughtseize this deck, actually. Let's just play to the board, and I get one of these back. Needle always gets fetch lands, which I don't like doing. Haywire Might, in case they have some... they might have the Ring, actually. Alright, yeah, I'll leave it Haywire Might. Any deck could have the Ring in it. That's kind of what's fucked up about the Ring. Okay. I mean, Pithing Needle's also an answer to Ring, but I like Haywire Might better, because that can just block and gain me 2 life if I'm trying to buy time. Oh no, this 1-lander. This hand's really good with 2 lands. I'm not going to take that risk if I don't have to. Alright, 2 lands, keep. I think I bottom 1 of the trophies. I can't even cast them, and Glissa is unique enough that I'd like to keep the copy that I can see right now. The Scriptures, that's a hard lock later. Shocked Engrave and played Consider, okay. And they like their card. Yeah, full Grixis Shadow confirmed. Good stuff. Main phase Consider. I'm not going to crack my fetch. I kind of want to draw lands. Alright, now I guess I have to crack it because I want to play Power Conduit. And I'm gonna spend the life to get a shock land. They are a deck that kills with damage, but also, like, I need to cast my spells. Stubborn Denial on the Power Conduit. Thoughtseize, yes. Look at my hand that has 4 removal spells in it. Which removal spell would you like to take? Luckily, I have 2 copies of the 1 card in my hand I can actually cast. Alright, Murktide does not die to these removal spells. They found the line. Darkboard Pathway. Play that on the black side. Get Glissa in here. Glissa can suck counters off of a Murktide. Though against Grixis Shadow, I don't necessarily expect my creatures to be alive. Thoughtseize, yeah, you know what's going on over there. Do you have a Lightning Bolt too? I hope not. Witch's Vanity, that does not line up well against Murktide. We're getting in. Glissa's in. Remove 3 counters from Murktide. Cool. And it makes it slightly smaller. And the Witch's Vanity sucks, but food token might change the race. Okay, Big Mercs connects. Opponent's at 8. I get a food token. I also found a land that can proliferate next turn, maybe, but also not really. Glissa, get in. Snapcaster Mage, that's annoying. No, I can Fatal Push that. We're good. Alright, yeah, just push this. You know about this. And if they counter this, then they don't get to cast their Consider. I would like to remove 3 counters from Murktide again. Yeah, that's a 3/3. And I'm just going to gain 3 life now before they can bolt me in response to it. Second Murktide. Oh, yeah, cool trick. I couldn't play around that. But yeah, this does get bigger. I am still dead to bolt. Yeah, they could have timed that whenever they wanted, and I was locked into combat, so I couldn't play around that. They bend Flooded Strand. Death Shadow, they know that dies. I can at least play around Soft Permission, but do I actually play around Soft Permission here? Because I have a bunch of 4 mana ways to kill Murktide, and I'm gated on colors. I'm just going to Fatal Push now. Alright, cool. I got a Wicked Roll onto Glissa, and I have to lose a life and draw a card when she hits because I need a removal spell. Uh-oh, they're fetching down to 4, so they must have an answer because they die now if she hits. Orcish Bowmasters, boo, boo. Alright. GG, that was fun. I mean, Glissa just running amok there. I am slain, but that was sweet. GG. I don't think my sideboarding changes. Eldest Reborn is a way to answer Murktide, but wow, that card is expensive. And I currently have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 spot removal spells for Murktide. Yeah, I don't think the Eldest Reborn as a 5-drop is better than any of the cards that are currently in my deck. On the play, I get to do a Saga thing with 3 copies of Binding the Old Gods. Unfortunately, the Sagas are bad. 1 Saga would be good. I don't like 2 because I can't cast Trophy. And like Mox Opal's not legal in this format to like tutor out at the back end and get colored fix. I am going to keep though. It's a 7-card hand that does stuff. I like that versus Grixis Shadow. Watery Grave. Thoughtseize. Have a look. I suspect we'll lose Assassin's Trophy here. Unless they inexplicably have Surgical Extraction in their deck, and then they get to 3 for 2 me. Yeah, okay. Trophy's gone. Not fetching. I would like to draw lands. Okay. Once again, Power Conduit. But that saves the Sagas. That may have just solved my problem. Bang. Now my Sagas don't die. And I get to tutor every turn. Dimir, not known for removing artifacts and enchantments. Red's pretty good at artifacts. This whole wedge is bad at enchantments. Top bottom, they're preordain. Boseiju, Who Endures. Yeah, I'm playing that. I'm going to save the other Saga, hold it back. I can't keep both of them around forever, and I can make a construct here, and then get tutor on the stack. Hope they don't have Kolaghan's Command. Moment of truth. We're about to find out if we get to do something cool. Wow! They're just freaking done! The hard lock, they see it. Insane. Okay, we got some contraptions assembled in the last 2 rounds after having a tough first 2 rounds, and now we've got a positive record on the line. Let's finish this league. You come here to level up at Magic. To level up as a software engineer, check out the new YouTube series Dev Better, hosted by the founder of 7 Factor Software and Magic player, Jeremy Duvall. 7Factor's small teams of high-performing engineers build custom mobile apps, APIs, and highly scalable systems for Fortune 500 companies and ambitious startups with great ideas. If you'd like to hire 7Factor, or maybe join their team, contact them through their website at 7factor.io. And don't forget to subscribe to 7Factor's YouTube for every episode of Dev Better. I'm on the draw in the final round. I'm going to keep this hand. It's got Disruption in Thoughtseize, Push, and Trophy, and I have Asusa, who's ready to move the game forward for me. Orcish Bowmasters. There's that one. Hand is just looking better every time. Lightline Binding Teferi. And Teferi is not huge against my deck. Probably Leyline Binding is the card that I'm most annoyed by here. Solitude's a someday problem, but yeah, I'm going to take the Binding. And they do have a Boseiju there, gotta be aware of that. Oh, they revealed a Kahira, I didn't even see that. Here it is. There's the island. They did not fetch a green source, so that Boseiju, not looking good here. Well, Urza Saga. Oh, Urza Saga doesn't cast Journey, but Overgrown Tomb does, and then I can play the Saga. Okay, yeah, that's how this works. Oh, but they have Teferi in hand. I am not playing the Saga into Teferi. Playing Karn's Bastion this turn, and then they could play Teferi, do something with it, and then Bowmaster shows up. Seiju has land, you love to see it. Teferi's in. Please draw a card. Oh, bouncing my journeys? Heck yeah. You'd hate to let me gain 3 life. Okay, Urza Saga as my land. Any journeys as my next land. Oh, this is awesome. Swamp as my bonus land. Bowmaster, kill your Teferi, get out of here. That was awesome. And I don't even know if that's good. I don't know how far ahead we are, but that was a lot of fun. And now Journeys and Saga are on the same trajectory, though, like we've seen in the past. Journeys not having a normal final chapter. Like, it's not just some cool ability, then it goes away. It actually is a creature, and there's nothing cool to do there. Temple Garden zapped it in. Just down and dirty Omnath with no land drop available. Okay. Ping you with your draw. If I can get Revolt, this Omnath's just gone. Otherwise, I'm going to have to feed the beast a little bit. Oh, there's a trick here. If I proliferate, I can flip Asusa and then push the Omnath versus ramping them into Solitude next turn. But if I just trophy this thing, then I can also activate Saga. I can also attack with Orc Army. They're likely to block, and then Fatal Push is on. I actually like that the most here. Yeah, no block. They didn't fall for that. That's fine. That was also a possibility. Assassin's Trophy, green, black. Get Omnath out of here. I don't like ramping the Solitude deck, but you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. And at some point they'll run out of basics. Like this Rockrun Triumph's their only red source right now. If I run the Saga to its conclusion and then trophy the Triome, who knows what that could look like. Up the Beanstalk, okay. Well, Orcish Bowmaster's getting to work. Ping. Interesting that they valued Up the Beanstalk over Hardcast Solitude on this board. Maybe they just don't think Solitude's going to hold up to the constructs. Okay, Fire. That makes a lot of sense. All right, they had a clean answer to 2 things there. Opponents usually have a plan, is the point. That Thoughtseize is nice. Okay, make a construct. Search for an artifact. Do I just Haywire Might the beans here? Because Hex Parasite doesn't actually do anything on the board with my hand. I don't think Nile Spellbomb is the way. That is a cantrip, though. I think I'm just going to get Haywire Might. Then I can Thoughtseize them and determine if I care about the Beanstalk. I'm going to attack first, because if I Thoughtseize them and then they panic Solitude, I want to at least get my damage through. Show me your thoughts. Okay. That's a lot of that. Fury kills multiple things. Solitude only kills 1 at a time. Yeah, it's the Fury. Okay. I'm going to take that out, and then I'm going to light up this Beanstalk before it draws them a card. If they want a card off Beanstalk, they're going to have to lose a Solitude to get it. Okay. That was a spicy hand. We got to wade through triple Solitude here. Oh, I'm glad I took the Fury. They drew the red source. Drawing a land here would be nice. Actually, that doesn't matter. I called it out, and then it didn't matter. I can proliferate onto my Orc army. It just doesn't actually matter. Okay, so triple Solitude. I'm going to play an Overgrown Tomb. And I'm going to attack. Okay, here is Solitude. Let's see where it goes. Taking out the Orc army. Sure. I'm going to trophy the Solitude. They do still have a basic. And I have no good way to use... Wait, what just happened? Oh, when it becomes blocked. That's literally the opposite of what I thought that card was. Alright, whatever. Take 4. They're about to stabilize, though. I need something good real quick, but knowing that their hand is Solitude. Kind of a bad time here. Ugh. Well, that can either delete the construct outright or reset the... Yep, reset the 3/3. That makes sense. And if they draw a land here, Solitude's live. Well, the One Ring. That one's good too. Okay. Okay, I think we're losing our spot here. I might be able to do something cool with Karn's Bastion. Like, if I give them more burden than they are ready to deal with, that's actually really interesting. Okay, I'm going to play Many Journeys and Glissa, and I'll just pass the turn here. Okay, they didn't draw a card. They know what this game's about right now. They see the Karn's Bastion. Up the Beanstalk, disappointing. Now the Solitude's all cantrip, and they don't even need this friggin' ring. Ugh. Alright, Solitude, immediately drawing a card with the beans. That kills Glissa. Alright, please activate the ring. I need them to activate the ring for me to have a chance here. I did not draw Binding of the Old Gods. It's what I actually needed. And now they're going to start gaining life, and then I can't actually win anymore. Disappointed. Ring continues to deal 0. I can try to ambush this Solitude in combat. I think I'm just going to chill and just not do anything here. I'm probably losing, but if I start taking random game actions, I definitely lose. Great. Here's this one. And they still have enough mana up to Solitude with. Alright, I'm going to proliferate in the end step. At least gives me a 3/3 that immediately dies to the 3rd Solitude. Yep, okay, I'm good. Opponent was really smart in not putting a single counter on their ring. And that Thoughtseize into 4 pitch elementals that all stabilize the board individually. And I had 4 of them to work through. No thanks. Trophy, Needle. Voidwalkers. Voidwalkers push some extra damage. Needle can name the ring. Don't think I want Necromentia. Quite certain I don't want Fatal Push. Eldest Reborn is a reasonable endgame. Witch's Vanity is bad. Souza is like a creature eventually, but the abilities on that are not that important. Do I need Scriptures here? Unfortunate, like, it's the last game and I'm boarding out this card. We're never going to get the every turn Plague Wind going. But I don't think that's how we win this matchup anyway. Maelstrom Pulse is not sexy, but it does kill 2 Solitudes. Is that better than having 2 Pithing Needles in the deck? Having 1 Maelstrom Pulse? But being able to Needle Ren and 6 and the One Ring is cool. And I have Binding the Old Gods if I ever draw it. Yeah, I think Pithing Needle is a more elegant solution to the specific problems of this matchup than another Vindicate is. Okay, keeping my hand. It does stuff. I'm not just going to run out this Shadow Spear. I'd rather surprise them with it later. I don't want it swept up in some random removal or whatever. Doth the Triome. There is a line where I just Assassin's Trophy that, and it becomes a basic land. I don't think it's the line I'm going to take, though. I'm going to get Voidwalker in first. This hits the hardest. And I don't have a land drop to make. Or I guess I do, but not like the next one. I neither have land number 4 nor a 4-drop, so exploring it doesn't even matter. And it's not even an explore, it's just play another land. But if they were planning on fetch land Ren and 6 this turn, I just fucked that up. Here we go. Halfway there. Now play Ren and 6. I plus on nothing. Stomping Ground. Yeah, we did it. Taste the shame and pain, opponent. Okay. If they were willing to pitch cast Solitude here, I think they would have done it. I'm going to play Shadow Spear, equip, and kill Ren. I suspect it's a reasonable argument to just be like, why do you care about Ren? It's already off. But their deck's full of removal. Just get that thing out of here. Voidwalker doesn't die to Unholy Heat. And now there's a Ren in my Void if I find an Urza Saga and a reason to move forward with it. So Power Conduit is already Ren in 6, basically. This is functionally Ren in 6. Hottest take of the league right there. It's Fairy's really good. But Voidwalker did do some good work in the meantime. Can I have the land now? Ooh, Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize doesn't get Voidwalker back into play, though. Ugh. This mana base. It's either just replay Voidwalker. I think I Thoughtseize. And then see what's going on, and I can decide if I'm going to Conduit, Trophy, or Journey here. Back up Ren. The One Ring Omnath Fury. Sheesh. And I'm taking the One Ring here. I wish it was in the Void, but it's not. The One Ring's out. They have a fetch land, so Trophy can't take them off Omnath here. Up the Beanstalks over there too. Taking the Ring and playing Journeys. Yeah, that's unfortunate. This basic forest betrayed me. But there are 7 lands in the deck that don't cast Thoughtseize or Dauthi Voidwalker. There's the Misty. Looks like they're going to reinvest in Ren in 6. Or are they tapping out for Omnath here? Yeah, Ren in 6. They're just playing it safe. Being able to double spell, draw a card, and make sure your 5th land drop for both Omnath plus Landfall or Fury is available makes a lot of sense there. Woof. I can't even like trophy the Omnath in a spot where it's useful because of Teferi. Okay, I think structurally, the fact that this deck is trying to get to 4 mana reliably, but then also has 6 colorless lands in it, is a concern. Now they get the Omnath plus Fury. Yeah, we're not winning this game. It's fine. GG. Okay. We beat the 2 decks that were trying to assemble their own contraptions. Like if we both have light interaction and trying to get something going, we're very good at breaking that up. Against the air quotes real modern decks, the hyper efficient decks with counterspells and Murktide Regents, or the Omnath go over the top, I don't care what you're doing, cute thing, you're dead. Those decks are problems. I think the Karn's Bastion is bad. Like there was that one game where it was close to, like if my opponent started activating the ring, proliferating it might have gotten them some extra damage over the finish line, but I don't think that's good. I actually think the Witch's Vanity is not a good card. I get that it's a Saga that's kind of a removal spell, but I think it's worse than a land on average in this deck. We're not allowed to play more Overgrown Tombs. We can play another Swamp, and the deck is mostly black. And we can add just a fetch land into the deck. Any black fetch land is fine. I'm just going to pick Bloodstained Mire at random. It doesn't fetch the basic forest, but it does get Overgrown Tomb and all the swamps. We're already up a colored source and up a land here. I'm just going to pull up Scryfall real quick and see if there's a better card than Azusa's Many Journeys we can play. When you actually hit the extra land, it's awesome. When you don't, it's bad. And what came up in that last round was I could have Azusa's on turn 2, play land number 3 from my hand, but that was my last land. And then if I miss my land drop on turn 3, I didn't actually ramp. I just put my land into play a turn early, and then nothing actually changed. Scry 2. Is Scry 2 better than playing a land? And then chapter 3 on this thing is choose a creature. When it dies this turn, you draw 2 cards. Then that creature fights up to one target creature. Like that could be an engine, but we don't really want to be sacrificing our creatures. Life of Toshiro. And this does Jite stuff, but this is also a flipper. And I kind of want something that has a chapter 3 that just triggers and then can be reset. Song of Freyalise doesn't do anything on chapters 1 or 2 for the deck. I guess like Hex Parasite. If you play out a Hex Parasite and then Birds of Paradise at once, and then you have Binding of the Old Gods in play, maybe this does something. Pretty cool with Bowmasters too. You get 2 Birds of Paradises. And then the final chapter is like a mini overrun thing where you just get to bash freely every turn until they figure it out. That one is maybe interesting. This one's a flipper again. Each player mills 3, exile 2 cards from graveyards, and then regrowth a creature or land. This one is not horrible, but our deck is mostly built on enchantments. This is the one we're already thinking about. This is a flipper. This makes a creature and then makes a food. A food is almost Azusa's second chapter, like game 3, but a food also ramps or makes your constructs bigger. And we did have a game where Fire Ice picked off a construct for freezies because it was only a 1. Then put X counters on target creature you control, where X is 1 plus the number of foods you control. This does introduce more counters to the game, but you do need to have creatures, but it does give you one also. Then we start getting into 3 drops. Maybe one of these is good, but among the 2s, I think Welcome to Sweet Tooth or Song of Frailes are the most interesting options. If you splash Bug, you get the Modern Age, which is also a flipper, but draw discard. This is a real thing that just keeping this on chapter 1 or 2 and looting through your deck is exciting, but that completely changes everything. In the meantime, I think Song of Frailes or Welcome to Sweet Tooth would be the next thing to test in this Azusa's Many Journeys slot. And though Eldest Reborn is an exciting top end, I think you probably only want 1. I had a lot of games where I just died with that card in my hand and only 3 or 4 mana. Maybe it's a 3rd Glissa. Maybe we can find another saga. I'm not going to go through Scryfall of all sagas that exist that cost 3 or 4 mana. That would take too long, but if we get another cool saga at 3 or 4 in these colors, lower the curve, and then still have a saga payoff, we're still doing the thing. Okay, that's where I'm going to leave this. This deck was a lot of fun. When it did its thing, it was awesome. When it didn't do its thing, it felt like we were trying to be too cute in a high-power format. And both of those things are true. This is awesome, and it's too cute for a high-power format. But if you like assembling contraptions and getting a bunch of moving pieces together until the opponent can't actually play the game anymore, there's some exploration to be done here. Eli, thank you for sharing this with us. Everyone else, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon, and I'll see you next time.